Hello guys, welcome to this session. We have started with budgets and budgetary control. We have discussed the theory part. We have done the first budget, how to prepare a sales budget. Then the second budget was production units budget is what we have finished. I think question number 4 is done. You can just come to question number 5. This is having two products. What I do is I'll do it for one product. You can do it for the other product because it will be on the similar lines. So I'll try to do it for product X. You can try to do for product Y. Okay. The question says Gamma Engineering Company Limited manufactures two products X and Y. An estimate of number of units expected to be sold in the first 7 months of 1975 is given below. So he's actually given you 7-month sales. Okay. Of product X and product Y. That means only sales information is given. Then he says it is anticipated that there will be no work in progress at the end of any month. So work in progress is something like work started but not finished, the semi-finished work. So they're saying nothing like that. And finished units equals to half the anticipated sales for the next month. So finished units will be equal to half the anticipated sales of the next month. So that means this month finished goods will be equal to half of next month's sales. And at the end of each month, that is a closing stock, including December 1974. So even the last month, it was the same pattern. The budgeted production cost. Okay, I'll stop it here. Production cost means it's a production cost budget, which I have not discussed yet. Production units budget, let us do it first. So I'll come to here. Hope you can see this. This is question number 5. And we are talking about production units budget. Production units budget. And I'm doing it for product X. Okay. Now, what are the things you require to prepare a production budget? We have already discussed this. We need sales information. We have the months also. So let me take month first. Sales of finished goods. Then I need closing stock of finished goods. And I need opening stock of finished goods. All right. So as you know, it is sales plus closing stock minus opening stock is going to give me production units. All right. This is what you need. Now, if you look at the question, he gave it right from January, February, March, April, May, June, and even July is given to us, right? Then the sales information are 500 units in the month of January, 600 units in the month of February, 800 units in the month of March, 1000 units in the month of April, 1200 units in the month of May, 1200 units in the month of June, and 1000 units in the month of July. Okay, this is what the data is available with us. Do you have the closing stock and opening stock of finished goods directly given in the question? The answer is no. So how do I find out? That is where he says finished units equal to half the anticipated sales for the next month will be in stock at the end of each month. At the end of each month, he is talking about closing stock, isn't it? That means he says closing stock of January will be equal to half of the anticipated sales of next month. What is January's next month? February. So February sales is how much? 600. So half of this will be closing stock of January. So here I'll bring it here and take 50%. So 50% of 600 comes to 300. Did you get that? So January's closing stock is equal to February's sales may half. So February's closing stock will be equal to half of March sales. So I think you can understand from this, it is 50% goes here. So 800 half is 400, 1000 half is 500, 1200 half is 600, 1200 half is 600, 1000 half is 500. So you can, I'm just putting this mark to make you understand from where did I get this, right? Now, do you know for July how much it is? We don't know because I don't have the August sales with me. So forget that. Now, I want you to tell me the opening stock. Guys, if you remember, January's closing stock, January 31st stock is nothing but February's first stock, correct? So January's closing stock will become February's opening stock. So can I write 300 here for February because it is coming from here? January's closing stock is equal to half of February sales. So January's closing stock is nothing but February's opening stock. Similarly, March opening stock, I can bring it here and say this is half of 400. Sorry, not half of 400, exactly 400. So March closing stock will become the opening stock of April. April closing stock will become May's closing stock will become June's opening stock, and June's closing stock will become, all right. We got the opening stock for all the months except the first month. Now, what is the first month? January. Now, this is the point you have to note. Sir, how do we find out? Let me write here the working notes. Jan's closing stock is equal to, see, how did you get, let me call it as opening stock because you already have it. See, how did you get the February opening stock? It is January's closing stock, correct? Now I want January's opening stock. January's opening stock means you have to go to previous month. So what will I write? January's opening stock is equal to December's closing stock. Sir, we don't know what about December. We don't know. We have no data of the December. All right. Now, December's closing stock should be equal to half of January sales, isn't it? So can I write December's closing stock is nothing but half of January's sales? That is how you got this, right? Closing stock of January is half of February sales. Closing stock of February is half of March sales. So closing stock of December should be equal to half of Jan sales, right? So that is equal to January sales is 500. Half of 500 is 250. So I can come here and write 250. Okay. This is one thing you have to think. January's opening stock, we don't know. It is equal to December's closing stock. We don't know the December's closing stock, but I know December's closing stock is equal to half of January sales. That is what is given in the question also. If you read the question, he says there will be the finished units will be equal to half the anticipated sales for the next month will be in stock at the end of each month, including December 1974. So including December means December also you had half of Jan sales. Now, once you're done with this, I think we can remove this arrows to avoid confusion. Once you have this data with you, so I can say we can definitely find out 6 months production. That's what he is actually asking you. He didn't ask you to find out for July, but why did he give the information for July? You should understand July actually helped us in finding June's closing stock. So ignoring this, I can say 500 plus 300 minus 250 comes to how much? It is 550 units. 600 plus 400 minus 300 comes to 700 units. 800 plus 500 minus 400 comes to 900 units. 1000 plus 600 minus 500 comes to 1100 units. 1200 plus 600 minus 500 comes to 1300 units. 1200 plus 500 minus 600 comes to 1100 units. Now, what do you know? I know, see, I cannot find out here because there's something missing here and I don't want that. He wants you to prepare only for the 6 months. So, you can actually take the total of this, the total production. If you add it, sum up these things, it will be 5, 12, 22, 23, 26, 5,650 units. So this 5,650 units is the total production for 6 months. This is the total production units for 6 months. Okay, I got this. Now, in the same way, you're going to do for product Y also. This is what is your production unit. Now, production units budget. Now, after having understood what production units budget is, we can go ahead with the second part of the question where he says the budgeted production cost for the year ending. So he's actually giving you the budgeted production cost for the year ending 31st December 1975 are as follows. He says production units 11,000. See, I'm only concentrating on X product. You have to do the same thing for Y product. So X product production units is 11,000 units. Direct material per unit is given 12. Direct wages per unit is given 5. Budgeted units is given as 11,000 units. Now, what is the production? We have revised it for 6 months. When we have revised it for 6 months, we got 5,650 units for 6 months. He has actually given it for 11,000 units. So, okay. Then he says, you can actually come to the today's document which I have sent. You will understand in today's document I have given the continuation of this question is there where he says overheads is also given to it. Now, how do you prepare a production cost budget? Now let me continue with this. You just remember this 5,650 units. That's what is important for us. 1, 2, 3,000, 13, 23. So now, when you move to preparing the production cost budget, production cost budget. I'm again doing it for product X only. If you remember, I was saying that production units budget is different, production cost budget is different, because in production units budget, we are only talking about quantity. Now in production cost budget, we'll be talking about the values. Now, what is that we are going to do here? So if you can look at the question back, he says, these are the elements of cost. We have, first is direct material. We have direct material. Then we have direct wages, or we can call it as direct labor. And in the current document which I have shared today, you have the continuation where he says other manufacturing charges apportionable. So manufacturing charges, nothing but overheads. Indirect expenses are called as overheads. You people know it. He says 33,000 rupees. Now, if you look at the previous document and this document, if you look at the previous document and this document, in the previous document, he says the direct material cost per unit is, so let me write the production units. Production units, how much we got? Is it 5,650? I think it is 5,650 units. So for 5,650 units, you have to find out what are we trying to do, sir, in production cost budget. We are trying to put the values of it. I know this many units have to be produced. So I require material for this many units. I require labor for this many units. I require overheads for this many units. So what is the cost per unit? CPU. Cost per unit for material, it is given as 12 rupees. For labor, it is given as 5 rupees. But for overheads, you can come to the today's document, 33,000 rupees. Now you think, how can you write 33,000 for 1 unit? Is it 33,000 for 1 unit, guys? No. You must have learned this in overheads chapter of cost accounting, where in overheads chapter we say it is overheads divided by R's will give you the rate. So absorption rate, we have to find out overhead rate, overhead absorption rate. If you remember this formula, it is the total overheads is 33,000 rupees for budgeted 11,000 units. So it is 3 rupees per unit. So I am not going to write 33,000 here because 33,000 is in total. I will write 3 rupees per unit. And once you have this with you, the total production cost. total production cost. You can say it's simply production units multiplied by cost per unit. So this multiplied with this multiplied with this multiplied with this gives you your answer. So if I calculate it, where is my calculator? Yes, I got it. So it is 5,650 multiplied with 12 rupees. It is 67,800 rupees which I spent, which is needed for the material. It's 5,650 multiplied with 5 gives me 28,250 rupees towards labor, and 5,650 multiplied with 3 gives me 16,950 rupees towards overheads. And if you add this, total comes to 1,13,000 rupees is the total production cost what you're going to have. That will be your answer for the product X. Okay. All right. Your book answer is saying 1,11,000. You need to check with the totals. Just check the totals. Maybe if you have done some totaling mistake, maybe you can rectify the answer. That should not be a problem. So that is about your product X. In the same way, you have to do for product Y also. Any questions? If not, I can proceed with your next question. This is production cost budget. What do we learn in production cost budget? The production units are multiplied with the cost per unit of the respective element of cost to get the total. Now, once you're done with this, you look at the question number 6. Question number 6, if you look at, it says UP Agro Industries Limited manufactures pickles and juices. The sales department has prepared the following forecast for the 6 months of 1990. So this is actually the information regarding the pickles manufacturing, juices manufacturing industry. It's an agro industry where they are making two types of pickles. One is mango and mixed, and 3 types of juices. One is apple, one is mango, and one is pineapple. You have been given the number of bottles. So it is the forecast of the sales. The sales department has prepared. So this is sales forecast. So sales units are given to you. The inventory levels have been determined as under. So what is new thing you look at in this particular numerical is you are being given work in progress. Now, the last 2 columns, if you see, you have finished goods. The last 2 columns are basically talking about finished goods. We have already done it. When finished units opening and closing are given and sales are given, it is sales plus closing minus opening stock will directly give you the answer. But what is new point in this particular problem is you are being given work in progress. Sir, what to do with work in progress? Work in progress meaning is it is neither in the form of raw material, it is nor in the form of finished product. It is not even in the form of raw material, it is not even in the form of finished products. It is somewhere in the middle. Now, let us say that I'm talking about making of juices and pickles. Now, what happens is they started the process of making the pickles and juices, but they have not bottled them. If it is bottled, then probably it is finished. Now, for us, we are preparing a production budget. When we talk production units budget, we always talk in terms of finished units only. We are not going to take raw material. We are not going to take the work in progress. So what we try to do is we will try to find out how much of work in progress is equivalent of finished products. How do we do, sir? You look at the question, he says, work in progress of pickles. If you look at mango pickle, you have the opening stock of 25,000 units, closing stock of 40,000 units. Now this 25,000 and 40,000 is not finished. They are work in progress. But how much is finished in that? You can see the percentage is given there as a percentage of completion. 80% is completed in the opening stock, 60% is completed in the closing stock. So for us, the first thing what we try to do is try to find out the equivalent percentage of work in progress, which is equal to finished products. So let us do that. Question number 6. What we try to do is calculation of work in progress equivalent of finished goods. So this is like calculation of work in progress equivalent to finished goods. Now equivalent to finished goods is what? For example, you have opening stocks, you have units, you have percentage. So this is work in progress units, WIP units multiplied with percentage will give you finished goods. Similarly, closing stock also I will do it in the same fashion. I have work in progress units, I have percentage of completed equal to finished goods. Now what I do is, let's start with mango pickle. This is pickle. Hope you can see this. Pickles are 2, mango and mixed. And then we have juices. Juices are 3, that is apple, mango, and pineapple. All right. So what is the opening stock of units? This is 25,000 units. This is 15,000 units. This is 534. 5,000, 3,000, 4,000. Okay. And look at the percentages of them. It is 80% complete. This is 60% complete. This is 80, 70, and 75. Okay. Now, what I have to do is, for me, 25,000 is work in progress. No, I don't want 25,000 work in progress. I want equal to finished goods. This 25,000 is equal to 80% of 25,000 is finished. So I'll take 80% of 25,000. So how much it comes to? I think 80% of 25 comes to 20,000. So I'm not going to take 25,000 as finished. I'll take 20,000 as finished. Then 60% of 15,000 comes to 9,000. 80% of 5,000 should come to 4,000. 70% of 3,000, 2,100. 75% of 4,000 comes to 3,000. These figures are important for me, not these figures. Similarly, closing stock units are given to you as 40,000 units. Then we have 25,000 units. We have 435, 4,000, 3,000, 5,000. Okay. And look at the percentages. 60, 80. This is 60% complete. This is 80% complete. 75% complete. This is 80% complete. And this is also 80% complete. Now, if I have to calculate what is equivalent to finished, 40,000 may, I'll take 60%. It comes to 24,000 units. 80% of 25,000 comes to 20,000 units. 75% of 4,000 comes to 3,000 units. 80% of 3,000 comes to 2,400 units. 80% of 5,000 comes to 4,000 units. Now what I have the finished goods, the work in progress equal to finished goods. This is work in progress. This is equal to finished goods, how much? 20,000. So I'm going to take these figures in the opening stock and closing stock along with the other finished goods. So you have to just remember these figures. If you can just note down somewhere these figures, that will be helpful for us. So because I'm going to do the production units budget now. Let's see. Now, I am just trying to modify this production units budget format. Production unit units budget. See, what I try to do here is, because I have some products here, the first column would obviously be product. If months are given, the first column would be for the month. I have this pickles. In the pickles, we have mango and mixed. Then we have juices. And then we have apple, mango, and pineapple. All right, these are the products. And how do we start with your production budget? I require sales units. Then I add closing stock. I'll take finished goods, equivalent finished goods, both. I'll take both. Similarly, when I write minus opening stock, I'll write finished goods plus equivalent finished goods. Now, what is this equivalent finished goods? I'll bring it from the work in progress. And in the last, I'll be getting production units. Let's see. So come back to the question. So if you look at the opening stock sales information, mango, the sales is 1 lakh units. Mixed is 75,000 units. Apple juice is 25,000 units. Bottles it is. Mango is 15,000 units. And pineapple is 35,000 units. All right. Then I straight away take closing finished goods. If you look at the last column, you have the closing finished units. It is 6,000, 2,000, again 2,000, and 500, then 2,000. And here I will take what we have done in the previous working, the equivalent finished goods of work in progress, that is 80% of 25,000, we got 20,000. Then 60% of 15,000, that is 9,000. 80% of 5,000, that is 4,000. No, I'm taking closing stock. It should be closing stock. No, this will be a mistake if you take opening stock here. You have to look at the closing stock, guys. Closing stock is 40,000, 60%. So 24,000 units. Then 25,000 into 80%. 20,000. 4,000 into 75%. It is 3,000. 3,000 into 80%. 2,400. 5,000 into 80%. 4,000. So this is what is new. In fact, my closing stock is this plus this. Together is my closing stock. So the simple calculation is one new point. Similarly, you write the opening stocks. Opening stock of finished goods is given as 7,500. That's last but one column you can see there. 3,000, 1,500 units, 800 units, and 2,000 units. That is finished units, right? Then I will take the equivalent finished units of opening. That is 25,000 to 80%. We already did it. It is 20,000. Then it is 9,000. Then it is 4,000. Then it is 2,100. Then it is 3,000. So this is entirely my opening stock. I hope you have understood. So what you have to do, sales plus this total minus this total gives you your answers. In fact, we can do that. It is 1 lakh plus So 24 plus 6 is 30,000 minus 27,500 should give you 1,02,500 units is the production of mango. 75,000 plus 22 minus 12. This is 85,000 units of mixed. 25 plus 5 minus 5,500 gives you 24,500 units. Next is 15,000 plus 2,900 minus 2,900 should give you again 15,000. And we have 35,000 plus 6,000 minus 5,000 gives you 36,000 units. So if you look at the answers, these are the questions. These you better not add them, because you can add it and say this is the total production. In fact, you can do that. Total production for the company you will get, but because they are different products, you can stop it there. 1,02,500, 85,000, 24,500, 15,000, and 36,000 bottles is as per the question answer. So this is what we have in production budget. We have learned production units budget. We have learned production cost budget. In production units budget, we only talk about quantities like what we have done in this problem. In the previous problem, we have learned how to prepare production cost budget, wherein you have to just multiply the production units with the cost per unit of the respective element. Material multiplied with material cost per unit, labor multiplied with labor cost per unit, overheads you have to apportion. So accordingly, you have to apportion, find out the per unit, and then multiply with the production units. So this is all about your sales budget, production units budget, and production cost budget. I will stop it here. Thank you.